Good evening. We begin tonight with the bit of financial relief that could continue for renters and landlords alike. The state could soon announce it will pay off all past due rent accumulated in California due to the pandemic. The news coming as people are still struggling to try and catch up after losing their jobs during the COVID pandemic. Last year, the state put in place a moratorium on evictions to help those most impacted by COVID. That stay extended multiple times, with the latest deadline set to expire at the end of this month. While the federal government has said it will not extend the moratorium, the state has yet to make a decision. Governor Newsom says Californians who have past due rent from 2020 due to the pandemic can rest assured that the state will pay off that debt. But what's not clear is whether California will continue to ban evictions after the state moratorium expires June 30th. 23 ABC's Brianna Willis joins us live from the Housing Authority of Kern in central Bakersfield with one possible solution if eviction protections end. Brianna.
Keely, I spoke with both those helping landlords and assisting tenants who both say moving past the eviction moratorium is going to be a long and difficult process, but there is help on the way.
What I propose is something in between, something a little more comprehensive. They were saying the tenants are supposed to be paying 25% of the rent right now. We need to bring that higher.
Local realtor and property owner Tony Ramirez says he understands some tenants have accumulated up to $12,000 in debt, and that is not easy to pay off immediately. But he says his clients have not received any of the state funding for rent yet, and he doesn't believe the eviction moratorium should continue.
My client's side, what's happening is the small mom and pop landlord doesn't have enough money to be paying for their mortgage, and because they have to be covering the tenant's rent, in other words, right?
Ramirez adds this is causing a ripple effect. Tenants are facing landlords unable to keep up with rental spaces. Having their tenants live in conditions that are not the most adequate because they don't have money to make repairs. Basic repairs from electrical, plumbing issues. They say, well, I don't have money. How do you want me to call a plumber? How do you want me to call an electrician? If I don't have the money, you're not paying me. But as the state determines if they will extend the ban or not, you can stop your reoccurring debt. If you live in Kern County and need assistance, you can apply to the Rent and Utility Assistance Program through the Housing Authority of Kern.
Our Rent and Utility Assistance Program is fully up and running. We are still taking applications. We don't anticipate the eviction moratorium, whether it's extended or if it's lifted, to impact the availability of our assistance program.
Since the launch in March, they've assisted 938 families throughout the county and paid out over $5 million in direct assistance.
It's really emotional when you see the depth of need in our community, when you see how the pandemic has actually impacted the lives of our neighbors. And to be able to offer a program that can help people recover from this pandemic and alleviate some of the stress that has been caused by the things that we've all experienced over the last year. It's truly an honor to be a part of something that is helping with the recovery from the pandemic.
The Housing Authority of Kern says they do plan to see an increase in evictions and moratoriums if the application is lifted. They actually said that they do see an increase in applications if it's lifted. Keely?
And Brianna, where can residents sign up if they need to apply for the program?
Residents can apply at the link below on your screen, and officials tell me it's best to do so as soon as possible as they currently have 3,000 applications in progress. You can also find that link on our website, turnto23.com. Live in Central Bakersfield, Brianna Willis, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
And you may also be wondering what else you need to do if you too are facing problems with paying rent. So we took a deeper dive and found some resources for you. One of the first things you need to do is communicate with your landlord. If you anticipate any trouble paying rent, housing advocates recommend approaching your landlord to let them know you're struggling. If you don't communicate, it could make that situation worse. And make sure any agreement you make is in writing. Keep a log of the payments you make, including the dates and the amount paid. Then identify emergency funds that can help you pay. Cities, counties, and states have various funds specifically set aside for emergency rental assistance during the coronavirus pandemic. You can call 211 here in Kern County to learn more about local programs. And finally, know your rights. Even when the country isn't in the middle of a pandemic, eviction rules differ across states and jurisdictions. The rules in your county might differ from the rules in the county next door.